Hey everyone, Jacob Boot from the National Sports Media Association. I'm here today with Missouri 2022 Sportswriter of the Year, Katie Wu. Congratulations on this award and thank you for being here today.
Jacob, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be talking with you.
Awesome. How did you get started in the sports writing business?
Well, that's a funny question because when I was 18, I decided to go to Arizona State for college, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was a very lost freshman, and I realized maybe 2 or 3 months into my college career that I really liked writing in high school. I loved English, it was my favorite class. And I was a big baseball fan, a big sports fan in general, but really baseball. And I thought, I wonder if there was a way to combine the two. And it just so happened that Arizona State had recently opened their own sports journalism program where you could actually major in sports journalism. And I saw it as a sign. I said, why don't we try it, see where it goes? I really didn't know anything about the industry or sports writing in general, but I learned so much in those 4 years, was able to graduate with my degree, and it just kind of took off from there. So right place, right time, really.
Oh, that's funny. What do you think separates you from your peers?
You know, I think, well, in St. Louis, especially the city that I work in, it's such a long history of exceptional reporters. And I think when I joined the Cardinals beat, which is my first professional sports beat in my career, I knew that there was substantial shoes to fill. I think what separates me is not necessarily talents, because everyone in that press box and really everyone in the sports journalism world is incredibly talented. But my company, The Athletic, allows me to be a little more free range than your typical newspaper. And that's not to discredit newspapers, they're so important. But I think with The Athletic and the flexibility of my job title and what I'm allowed to do responsibility wise, it allows me to dig a little deeper and write different storylines. I don't necessarily feel like I need to write off the results of every single game. So sometimes I can not write a game story and instead focus on a different feature that I feel like readers can't get anywhere else just based on my platform. So really, I don't think it has anything to do with me, just, the luxury of where I work.
Awesome. How did you get to where you are right now?
A lot of help from others. If I was going to give anyone advice who's interested in the sports journalism or sports media field in general, it's to connect with as many people as possible. I 100% would not be at my current job, at this current place in my career, without many people willing to advocate for me and help me along the road. This dates back from high school English teachers, college professors, former mentors, and friends today that still advocate for me on a daily basis. It is truly a village to be successful in this industry. And I'm so thankful for the support of the people that I've met, whether it's through internships, classes, or just saying hi to someone at the ballpark. You never know how you can help someone or how can someone help you going forward. So very thankful for the people that I've met along the way.
Awesome. Kind of answered this question earlier. What inspired you to go down this path?
I think again, it was my love of baseball. Really, I was one of those kids that I would never know when like the tests were for class. Like if I had a history test, I had no idea, but I knew growing up in the Bay Area who the Giants and A's were playing for the next week. I would come home and I would talk about it with my dad. I think that's really where my love of baseball started, was because it was a way for me to feel connected with my dad. And I'm so lucky that I can now text him about the Cardinals, and it's still just the same as our conversations in high school, just a different team. But I think it's a combination of baseball being such a passion of mine as a child, being able to share it with people that I care about, and really I feel like the opportunity to write and help share that love of baseball, that passion for the sport with such a passionate fan base in St. Louis, has just made it pretty much, I know it's cliche, but a dream come true.
Awesome. Who would you say you look up to in the business?
Oh, that's a great question. Wow, there's so many. First, I think the generation of the women before me, sports writers, who have really set the tone and had to deal with so many things that I couldn't even imagine having to deal with, and then having to do this job on top of. Susan Slusser, the former president of the BBWAA, current Giants beat writer, comes to mind in terms of how she really was a trailblazer for sports writers like myself. I was so lucky to have an incredible mentor in my first year out of college named AJ Cassavell. He's the Padres writer for MLB.com, and he helped set the tone there. And I have some great editors at The Athletic. I think of my former editor, Jane Lee, my current editor, Dan Brown, and Mark Craig. They have all been so instrumental. But in terms of who I look up to, I think it's just been the people that I've read along the way. And it's so funny. My current editor, again, Dan Brown, was one of those people that I read as a child. So it's definitely a full circle moment, but certainly no shortage of people to look up to in this industry, especially in the world of baseball. And I hope to continue being someone that could follows that path that the people before me have led.
Awesome. And again, you answered this question earlier too, and it's my last question. What advice could you give for students or young people like me who want to go into this type of business?
Well, it does again go to towards meeting new people and building connections, but it's also to be as open-minded as possible. I mean, I knew from my first week in sports journalism, I wanted to be a baseball beat writer, and there was nothing that I was really looking forward to doing more than that. But I also knew that, especially in college, you have such a unique experience to try something new. The worst case scenario is you don't like it. And as passionate as you may be for something, or as surefire that you are that you want to do something, because I was pretty committed that I wanted to do this, I'm so glad I tried other things like radio, podcast, TV, shooting my own video, because those are all things you end up doing in sports media anyway. But it also, one, led me to learning new things that are helpful to where I am now, and two, allowed me to meet more people, which again is so instrumental in this business. So those are going to be my two takeaways. It would be go out, meet new people, and don't be afraid to try new things. Again, the worst thing that can happen is that you don't like it, and then but you could unlock another passion along the way that you didn't even know that you had.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you again for your time, and congratulations again on your award.
Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate it.